that it's insane. But anyway, back to the game. Here I would say Milky should pump out 2 or 3 mortars and start shelling this. He's not going to be able to slug down Cass with musket. So we should try and shell that and do the same thing that StormComing is doing to him. Divide his attention. I would also say, good, StormComing should put 2 mortars here to start sieging this. And he is. Great play. It's a good way to make your opponent focus on multiple areas of the map, which really hurts their ability to just straight push. Milky needs to probably make 2 or 3 mortars here and start pressuring this. I would even be fine with a artillery foundry going up here so that he can make grenadiers to pressure the FB. Meanwhile, he needs to stop his hussars from sieging the wall and actually attack the mortars. But, okay. He should also use these to flank in here and constantly pump muskets and cav at these mortars and just try and pressure this. He's going to win musket versus musket, and his cav will easily be able to take out these mortars because the muskets are just standing on the sides instead of in front of the mortars. Right now he's trying to keep this position, but I don't really see a point. It's okay to lose a little bit of map control if you're pushing him back here. Conversely, all he's doing right now is losing map control all over. He's losing map control here because he was right here and now he's back here. He's losing map control here because StormComing is splitting his attention. Also, now that StormComing has his muskets out, he should put his muskets right up here and his Cassadors behind his muskets. That way, he can really just capitalize on this, and any cav that comes out will just get killed. He should have had right here, in this general area, so that he could flank culverins, mortars, all that kind of stuff that would come for his FB or his army from this position. Because now Milky can just hammer those down for free. See, this cav has to come all the way from here. It's a long way. If he has one stable here, he can pressure that, and he can keep that from hampering his push. Little things like building positioning mean a lot in Treaty. He should also just melee mode these muskets and go and kill these goons. I don't know why he isn't. This is fine here. He's just continuing to pressure this, make Milky split his army. I like that. These 2 mortars have beat back Milky's forward base, which is another good thing. He's kept him from really hammering him down and controlling that center portion, which is always good. StormComing should have 2 mortars coming, I hope. No! Oh, that's a big mistake. StormComing needs to have 2 mortars coming so that he can just pressure this forward base. Look at this stable, look at this barracks. If he has 2 mortars right here, he can actually pressure this stable, this barracks, and keep them from coming up. All the while he can keep making units. It would give him a good amount of control over this position. He could be beating this back and winning. Right here, I like this composition. I'd say he could probably do with like 5 or 10 dragoons at the back right here. This way these hussars would just come up and get completely destroyed by the dragoons. Would make a huge difference. I like that Milky is beginning to add on longbows. It's always a good unit to start mixing in against Portuguese. It deals with dragoons, it deals with muskets, and it deals with Cassadors. The main problem units for, so it's always a good idea to mix in some longbows. But I don't like it when players get too reliant on them because they're a very fragile, slow defensive unit. And again, with these Cherokees standing on the side here, always make sure to use your units. Try to have as few idols as possible. Right now we can see Milky has about 30 idle population. That's bad. you want to have every unit you have in combat and fighting, because it maximizes the effectiveness of your army. Score-wise, they're both about even right now. British slightly ahead, but I would expect that because British is the economical civ here, Portuguese is the strategic civ. They should always be somewhat ahead in score, unless the Portuguese is just wiping the floor with the British. StormComing has done a very good job of controlling Milky here. I'd say that he could still have one mortar just pounding down these walls. That way he can start to wall this and build up some barracks and artillery foundries there. So while this push is going on, he's taking this position on the minimap. Always try and divide your attention, especially in a 1v1, because you want to be fighting multiple positions. Also, these hussars were pointless. They're not going to really do any damage because Milky's hussars are stronger and he has muskets and melee. He shouldn't have made those. He should have just made more muskets and pumped out a few organ guns, in my opinion. And again, it's always good to have those few dragoons at the back of your army. You don't want to have a million of them because it makes you vulnerable to flanking, which is what you can really use the muskets to control. You put them on a flank and the Huss have to go the other way. For example, the Huss can't just go straight through this, they have to go around like this. It means that your opponent. So if you have your skirmishers here, and you have your muskets here, and you have a couple of dragoons right here, the hussars have to go here, and the hussars die before they ever hit these units here. Although right now he's making so many muskets, it doesn't really matter. Milky should probably mix in a handful of grenadiers here, because against musket masses like this, grenadiers are very useful. They provide a good break-up of the composition because of the splash damage that they deal. They don't deal an excessive amount of damage on their own, but if you look at this, the splash damage would hurt all of these units. So the longbows in turn wind up dealing more damage themselves because all those units are hurt. And if they're all low HP, one grenade can take out that whole mass. In addition, they're also just a good damage tank for ranged units like muskets and Cassadors because they have a lot of hit points, over 500, and they have 50% ranged resistance. Here, Milky needed, again, a couple of dragoons at the back with the muskets up front and the dragoons behind his longbow so that he's controlling the pathway of his opponent. He lost that fight just because he wasn't focusing, I'd assume. Yeah, he's trying to wall up and take this position and all that kind of stuff. So that's kind of understandable, but you still want to focus on those little battles so that you don't lose individual battles. The more you can make one army of yours worth 5 of your opponents, the better, or even 2. Yeah, 5's a bit exaggerated. Milky also needs to just use hotkeys and make units here. He needs to be able to glance at this and see there's not enough anti-cap here. I have 40 population I can use. I should pump that into Huss and put some pressure on this so that I can then switch it to muskets, friends, or longbows and deal with the... In addition, I should... good, he is at least putting up a stable here so that he can flank this artillery. British, even though they can win a call war, are very strong when they can flank because of how strong their hussars are. And again, he just needs to pump units. He can pump from here and here and have it coming out along with this racks, and it gives him a much better chance of winning. Also, these culverins just popped out directly into this fight, so they're just gonna get damaged for no reason because they popped out right into that. What he should have done is put his waypoint back here until he can get out some muskets and things to guard them. That way when he brings them up, they're not just running into the line of fire, they're behind something. That allows him to keep them alive longer. See, now he only has one culverin left. He could have had the vast majority of those left over. He needs to... Let's see, is this his wall? Yeah, it is. Okay, since that's his wall, he needs to start making husks out of this rack, or out of this stable, and just trying to pressure these, and pressure this. I do like that he has these dragoons in the back, but you should try and keep your skirmishers to the back as well, because this is just begging for husks to come and kill those Cassador, because they're sitting right here. And see, my bet is this Cav is going to kill most of those Cassadors. No, he has good reactions. He pulls them back in time. Very impressive there. Again, he could put another stable right here, and he'd have another flank that he can abuse and go just around like this to get at these mortars. Little things like that win you fights, because you can reinforce from strategic positions. I like that he's not allowing his opponent to just control this location right now. It's good that he's dividing his attention and trying to beat down these 4 bases. He's not just